Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, JunkMonster3, and I am finally back with a new video. My previous video was when I showed you what I picked up from the sci-fi convention, and I know for sure that but this video is way delayed, and I should have made this video like at least like 2 weeks ago, or maybe almost 2 weeks ago, and this is going to be the top 5 movies that I watched during February. And to be honest, I've been quite busy, so I haven't watched as many movies as I used to. So some of these movies that I've watched are maybe not the best movies in the world, but they were the best movies that I watched during February. So yeah, let's begin right away. First up, this is like a double pack with Heavy Metal and Heavy Metal 2000. And I know for sure this is like a very unpopular opinion, but I actually enjoyed. This is the one that got on the number 5 spot. I enjoyed Heavy Metal 2000 more than Heavy Metal, and don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Heavy Metal as well. But the reason why I enjoyed Heavy Metal 2000 more was because of the story. The storyline was very interesting in this movie more than this one, because this one is more like an anthology movie, and I've always had a little bit hard. I've always had issues with the anthologies, because when I started to watch Heavy Metal, I had no idea that it was an anthology movie. So I was like, "What is this? What is this? What is this?" So I might need to rewatch Heavy Metal again, and I think some of the sequences in Heavy Metal were a little bit cheesy. So yeah, and for sure this movie is really cheesy as well, Heavy Metal 2000. But thanks to the storyline, I enjoy this one more. But something that I have to admit is that Heavy Metal has a much better soundtrack than Heavy Metal 2000, in my opinion. Even though this movie still has some really cool music in it as well. But yeah, overall this has the better music, and this have the better storyline. And in this case, I think this one is a little bit better. So yeah, Heavy Metal 2000. Then we have a thriller movie called Mute Witness. I am surprised that I've not really heard that many people talk about this movie, and it actually says on some websites that this is like a horror movie, but I would say it's more of a thriller movie than a straightforward horror movie. So before you watch this, keep in mind it's more of a thriller than a horror movie. And yeah, it's a great suspenseful thriller, and I think more people should see it. And another thing which I found to be really interesting is that now let's see here, Alec Guinness. This was his last movie. I think this was his last movie before he passed away. But he recorded these scenes of him. They recorded those scenes like 3 or 4 years prior to the movie being released. So yeah, that was the reason why I like reacted like, why isn't Alec Guinness older than this? So yeah, but yeah, Alec Guinness is, his character is like not the great. I mean, not the greatest, but his character doesn't have that much screen time in the movie. Screen time. Sorry, like some sort of new term like screen time. But yeah, anyway, this is a great thriller movie. So if you're into your thrillers, check out this movie. And I don't want to spoil it or talk about anything about it other than the things that I just said, because I think you should see this as a blind buy, or like a blind that you should not read that much about it before you watch it. So yeah, Mute Witness at number 4. And at number 3 is a movie. This is actually not that release. I have that other release which I showed you before as well, which was signed by Freddie Williamson, which I showed you in my previous video, and I think you already know what movie it is that I'm talking about. And the movie is Inglourious Bastards. This is the Region 1 release. And to be honest, I've not seen this release, if this like a better picture quality or if it's uncut or not. I'm not too sure about that, but the movie itself is really hilarious and really cool. I mean, there's not really that many war movies that like make fun out of these things. I mean, that sounds really gruesome to say since it is like World War II, but it has some really comedic sequences in it, and the characters are really likable. And okay, some of them are likable and some of them are like douchebags, but that's their characters, and I understand that not every single character can be likable, so you have to have at least like one douchebag and one like likable character at least in your movie. But yeah, this movie is awesome. I have not seen Quentin Tarantino's movie yet, and I don't really know if I'm ever going to watch it, because I think this is a great movie as it is. And yeah, Inglourious Bastards at number 3. And at number 2, we have a movie directed by Bill Paxton and starring Bill Paxton. I think you already know what movie I'm talking about, and the movie is Frailty. This is another one of those thriller type movies. And I would say it has some sort of horror elements, but that's more like psychological type of horror. But it's more like a thriller type thing, and basically this is about a family. No, let's see, it was like 2 or 3 brothers. I can't remember. I think it's 2 brothers, and one of them really obeys everything that the father says, played brilliantly by Bill Paxton, and the other one is like a little bit unsure if what they are doing is the right thing. So yeah, there's some conflicts within the family, and things starts to escalate to the worst for basically all of them. So yeah, Frailty, if you haven't seen this movie, check it out. I think Bill Paxton was a great actor, and yeah, great movie by Bill Paxton and great acting in it overall. So yeah, Frailty at number 2. And at number 1 is a movie I actually think I've gotten more and more into these like anime movies, and this was a really wild ride and was like full of action and carnage and everything. And I think that's the reason why I like it so much. It has so many details, and so I mean the fact that this was made in 1988 just blows me away, because it looks so beautiful and so good. And the movie is Akira at number 1. And I don't really know if I'm going to say that much about it, because I think most of you have already seen this movie who are into anime. And I've gotten more and more into anime. That's the reason why I picked up like this one, for instance, like Silver Fang and Berserk, those TV series. So yeah, but Akira, if you're into your anime, I think I've already seen this movie. But if you haven't, check this one out. This is amazing and great and cool characters and everything, because I gave this, I think I gave this maybe a 9 or 10 stars out of maybe 9 stars out of 10 or 10 out of 10 stars. But yeah, however, great movie. Akira at number 1. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and didn't get bored, and hope to see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.